If I am going on a first date, what are your tips?
So my biggest tip for a first date is that you should never go too formal because there's already a lot of sort of anxiety and nervousness, right? A lot of expectation. If you go to a fancy restaurant or if you even do dinner necessarily, it could add a lot more extra pressure on it. I like to keep first dates light, casual, maybe get a coffee, maybe take a walk in the park, and something where you can control the time. Because if it turns out it becomes very clear the other person is not someone you want to spend time with, you can bow out, right? You can't really bow out of a 3-course dinner.
What to talk about on the first date?
I would say, like, nowadays, the mistake people are making, dude, they be talking everything on chat before even meeting. You know what I'm saying? And then you can't talk about anything. You don't have to warm up topics because you have to warm up in the chats already. You warmed up and you feel like you know this person. Boom, meet physically and you're like,
you don't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
Because you already know the little things.
Yes.
And then it makes it harder, right?
Yeah.
Say, I got something that can give more insight into the people you're on a date with. You ask them how they would educate their kids.
That answer alone says everything about them.
Big insight.
Big insight, dude.
Yeah.
What if they just said, I don't kids? But still, that's
So
a
you
big
know,
thing.
that's a big thing. You should
That is a
find
big
out. Because if they tell you about how they will educate, they'll tell you about the childhood, the parents, why they
Oh,
care.
wow. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's even deeper.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. First one on my list. Gentlemen, plan the date. Plan the date. You pick a day, you pick a time, you pick a spot, and make the reservation. Do not say, hey, do you want to go on a date? She says yes, and say, all right, cool, where do you want to go? What the f***? Oh, I like this one. Don't let her touch a door handle. Don't let her touch the car door handle. Don't let her touch the restaurant door handle. If you're walking in the restaurant, open the door. A little hand on the back goes a long way. If there's chairs at the tables, pull her chair out for her. That's so cute. You're already setting yourself up for success. Please be fucking nice to the staff. Whether it's a host, whether it's the waiter or waitress, you could really tell a lot about a person depending on how you treat people that are waiting on you. Just be nice. It costs $0 to be nice.
Let's talk about some first date do's and don'ts. Do not show up with bad breath. Bad breath was ranked #1 for women's top icks. Not being able to find parking, you just spinning and spinning the block. Just valet the car, especially if she has on heels. Do not be rude to waiter. That shit is a huge character flaw. Do make small talk with the waiter. It shows that you actually have some personality. Do not pretend to be a know-it-all. Obviously talk about yourself, but it's important that you learn to listen and ask great questions. Fellas, as a man, do not take selfies and pictures of your food at dinner. I mean, we do job like I leave some shit for the women, and I'm guilty of it. Do not bash your ex. Do acknowledge your role and how you've grown from the situation if it does come up. It really shows that you just have emotional intelligence and that you take accountability for your actions. Do not let her touch any door handle. Cars, that's restaurants, none. You don't want to be too touchy. A little hand on her back to guide her to the chair or through the restaurant is okay. And ladies, if he split the check, split his ass. It's over.
Number 1, a good outfit, because when you look good, you feel good. Go for something classic, comfortable. You know you look good in it, so you're not going to be stressing. You're not going to be adjusting the whole time. Number 2, it is just a date. At the end of the day, this is not your wedding. So don't plan a wedding. Don't plan a future. It's one date. And so what if it goes bad? Who doesn't love a funny story to tell your friends? The group chat is going to eat that shit up. Number 3, my most favorite. Sometimes it can be a little bit awkward when you're meeting someone new. So if you feel like there's an awkward silence, always have backup questions prepared. My all-time favorite is, if you had to cook Gordon Ramsay a meal, what would you cook him? And then my second favorite, if you had unlimited amount of money, where would you travel to? 4, the most fucking important. Do not talk about your exes. Your exes are dead. You've never had an ex. You've never had a boyfriend. Nothing. No exes. And number 5, just be yourself. He could smell the fakeness across the table. I promise you, you're not fooling anyone with this fake persona. Be yourself, because people are going to like you a lot better when you're yourself.
First date, this is for my ladies. Number 1, if you like to take the edge off of things, make sure not to overdo it and not drink too much. Have 1 glass of wine while you're getting ready, and then you can have 1 or 2 glasses of wine at dinner. Also, make sure that he's drinking like parallel to you. Don't start ordering up drinks if he's not drinking at all, because that's kind of scary. It's just good to monitor your drinks for safety and to just monitor what you're like doing and saying. Number 2 is dress relatively classy. I think a good go-to is slacks with a bodysuit or jeans with a bodysuit and heels. Something that's simple, but you're not showing like your entire rack. Okay, number 3 is hygiene. This is just a given. 7, make sure your breath smells good. Make sure you're showered. Make sure your body smells good. Don't go too heavy with the perfume though. Go just like the right amount. The perfume you wear is very much going to give off your vibe. The more elegant scents are going to be like floral scents or sandalwood, whereas the more sexy scents are going to be spicy vanillas. Number 4, do your go-to basic makeup. You can also add a little bit of black eyeliner in the waterline if you want to be extra sexy. I'm totally the type of chick to always do a full beat, but on a date, you want to just make sure you look like yourself. It's not the time to try out a dramatic smoky eye, you know? Okay, so now you're on the date, and this is where number 5 comes in, which is you want to break the touch barrier. Always go in for a hug. You guys need to break the touch barrier because once you touch, you're going to subconsciously feel so much more comfortable with the person. Number 6, the most important part of the date is the conversation that you have on the date, obviously. If you're nervous about what to talk about, honestly, just ask them questions because people literally love to talk about themselves and then the conversation will just start flowing. Also, this is my first time trying this Nude Sticks blush. It's in the shade Pink Ice. Why is it so pretty? Also, in terms of the conversation, do not complain to them or talk shit about people. That is just like signs of negative energy. And also, don't talk about your exes. Your exes are not a part of this. Number 7, do not go on your phone during the date. Going on your phone while like you're in a conversation with somebody is literally the rudest shit ever. Number 8, it is genuinely so important to be yourself because either way, if you see a future with this guy, if you actually want to start fully dating him, he's either way going to find out your personality, so you might as well save you guys both some time and act like yourself. Not to mention, people can literally see through fakeness, so if you're being a different person, they're gonna know, and it's just gonna be weird. Number 9, you literally have nothing to lose. People get so nervous for first dates, but honestly, worst case scenario, if the date goes bad, you never have to see this person again. It's totally fine. Be yourself. You have nothing to lose. Number 10, you can offer to pay once when the bill comes, but after that, let him pay. It's his job to pay on the first date if he asks you out. After he pays though, make sure to say thank you. A lot of people forget to show gratitude. Anyways, get fucking excited because
to take someone on their perfect date but still keep an element of mystery, just do this. Text them, did you want to do anything in particular? And if not, how about I give you 5 and you choose 3? Now the options you give them are going to fit into 3 categories. They're either going to be fun, they're either going to be romantic or casual. These are all going to be great options for a first date that allow you to actually talk and get to know each other, as well as it not being too intimidating. And even when they give you the 3 options, you now have the choice as to where you go. So you can choose places that you would feel comfortable in, and they still get an element of surprise. Number 2, if you are going to a restaurant and you've asked the other person out on a date, one of the best things that you can do, and I stand by this, is something as simple as calling the restaurant up beforehand, giving them your card details, so when the bill comes, you can be like, oh, it's already taken care of. Are you crazy? I would die then and there if any man did this for me. It's the thought, it's the organisation, it's the not having the awkward situation where we fight for who pays for the bill. Incredible. And number 3, if they're making their own way home after the date, ask them to let you know they got home okay. If you do things 1 and 2, they will. You're going to text them saying, I'm glad you did, I'm going to get some sleep, good night. This is going to leave them wanting more, and as much as you probably want to continue to talk till 2 a.m, have good boundaries set in place. And then text them in the morning saying, I really enjoyed last night, we should do it again sometime. World's easiest transition to date number 2, and they are going to be obsessed with you.
First date advice for all the boys, you're going to want to save this video before you go on your first date. Trust me, you're going to want to look back on this one. First and foremost, never make the first date super fancy or over the top because you don't want to keep the expectation super high from the beginning. A great first date idea is like a coffee date or a cheaper kind of like dinner date. As long as the vibe is cool, then you're solid. As a guy, make things easier for her, so you need to be the planner. Ask her if she's free on 2 days out of the week. So be like, are you free on a Saturday or are you free on Thursday? And then she gets to pick. From there, choose the place and don't even ask her what time. You set the time and you tell her that you're going to pick her up. So be like, I'm going to pick you up at 8 p.m. on Friday night. The goal here is to alleviate things on her, alleviate anxiety on her side. So boom, you have the date and time set. You're going to go pick her up. Go pick her up. Always open the door for her. Be kind. But the goal when you're driving to the date spot or you're just on the date in general is to calm her anxiety. That's what you have to do. I feel like I'm just so exposing myself on this app. I don't care. I'm helping you guys out. That's your goal. You gotta calm anxiety. Not necessarily see if you're compatible. Obviously, yes, that's 100% important, but I feel like you should see if you're compatible with this person before you even go on the date. Your focus as a guy on the date, I can only speak for guys once again, is to alleviate her anxiety, make her feel as comfortable as possible. So open car doors, pay for the date, take her home after the date. She wants to feel calm around you, okay? And you're gonna do this by asking her questions about herself, being interesting, bringing up jokes. She's gonna feel comfortable when she talks about her own life. And there you go, just be a gentleman. That's how you handle a first date.
Ladies, I'm about to tell you something that will subconsciously turn on a man on the first date. Subconsciously, it's gonna just turn him on. When he gets up and goes to the bathroom, you do not, N-O-T, you do not whip out your phone. You keep that phone right in that little purse, right in your little side pocket, but don't touch it. I know it's tempting. I know you're addicted. I know you can't get off it, but don't freaking touch it. Because when he comes back out and he sees you not on your phone, he's going to say to himself, wow, she's not like all the others. She's not being a sneaky little snake in her phone in the middle of our... Something's different about her. I like her energy. She's not needed. She's not addicted. She doesn't need to talk with her friends in between. She doesn't need to be texting those little side dudes in between. He don't know what you're doing, but he don't like it. It just naturally, he's going to be like, what's she doing? Why is she there to do that? This is our time. But once you do that, once you don't touch your phone, he'll be like, oh, she's a good one. She's a good one. She's a cat. She's a good girl. We like good girls. He's not going to think all the nasty things he thought about what you were doing when he was in the bathroom and who you were saying, what you were saying, and who you were saying it to. Trust me, ladies.